Thanks for joining us on Valley News Live, a thunderstorm watch for most of our counties with the exclusion of our South Dakota area as well as portions of Lakes Country in central Minnesota. Storms will impact you, but not before the 9 o'clock hour. This watch is extended until 9 o'clock. The main risk this evening as we go through will be a few isolated tornadoes. We had one on the ground moments ago. It could still be on the ground. A tornado warning does continue for this storm here. Spotters saw a tornado in contact with the ground right over the Pekin area or near Pekin. It's moving off east at about 30 miles per hour. And near Grand Forks, we have this big box here. That is a considerable severe thunderstorm that has the potential for some extremely strong straight line winds. We'll get into the details on that. If you're in northwest Minnesota, we have a smattering of very strong thunderstorms, but they have been below severe criteria in our area up north into Canada. Some hail on that blue dot there. And moving in towards Carrington and New Rockford, we have a line of storms that are very stout and strong and rotating. We'll analyze that real quickly as well. First and foremost, we have severe thunderstorm warning for the New Rockford and Carrington area. Here's this little thing with this little hook on the bottom side of it, that little dangly thing there. That is where we have some rotation. The rest, rain and hail, making its way into the New Rockford area. And Carrington right now, you are in the path of that storm as it moves east at about 25 miles per hour. Here is a look at the velocity, the wind movement that the radar is picking up in the storm that's moving towards Macville. The rotation has exited Tolna, that tornado that was spotted on the ground. Now we have Macville, and there's some rotation right here just off to the north of the highway. So you should be seeking your shelter in that interior room, staying away from windows. I want to point something out here, and that's this guy right here. This little speck of green, that line of green, that is an outflow from this rain and hail falling out of the storm, and it's bursting out in this direction. So if you are in Niagara, if you are along the Highway 13 corridor, a very, very stout and strong burp or gust of wind is heading your way. How strong or fast are those winds? Well, where we see this big blob of green, that's wind blowing toward the radar in Mayville, and some of those winds are in a measurement. Now this will be at cloud level. Again, the radar is looking at cloud level. 85 miles per hour is what that little dot is measuring there. So between 70 and 90 mile per hour winds showing up at altitude with the storm as it's working its way towards the area of Niagara and into the portions of eastern Nelson County as we speak. Now I want to point this out. If you're in Grand Forks County, we also see, well, there's the outflow boundary that I was just showing you, showing up as a cloud. Sometimes these show up as a roll cloud rolling out. Looks like menacing skies. Then your hair blows back as the wind changes direction as that gust front or outflow from the storm moves through. Look at Grand Forks, look at Thompson. Here's a gust front burping out of this storm making its way through. Your wind here will be from the north and west out of this storm. This whole cluster or complex of storms is making its way right along the Highway 2 corridor. So we've got the rotation moving in towards Macville. There's one area. There's another area right there where we have a hook echo, and we'll watch this along the Highway 2 corridor just off to the east of the Michigan area as well. We got a new information in here. It looks like we got a tornado north of Macville. Clear ground circulation with funnel. Lasted a minute. So the Macville area right here. Yep. So tornado on the ground, confirmed or not confirmed, but a spotter is reporting that in the Macville area there was a touchdown of a tornado that lasted a minute. So a dangerous and rotating storm there working its way through Nelson County right now. And the line of that storm, leading edge of it, moving at about 30 miles per hour now. So here's the leading edge, and here are some towns and communities that will be impacted by this tornado-warned storm. Macville now, Conway out towards 532, Grafton 550, and the Larimore area at 613. So Macville, prepare for a tornado to be in your area and a tornado producing storm to be in your area. Now I want to go ahead and analyze the storm here real quickly near that's approaching the Carrington area, please. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that. Okay. All right, so we have a warned storm here approaching Carrington. It's over Sikeston. Here's that little hook echo on that. So it's passing Sikeston, heading towards Carrington. This one moving east. New Rockford, you have the pinks over you. That's some large and sizable hail. Could be over an inch in diameter. And there would be the rotating part of the storm. Let's see if the velocities back that up. Right here we've got some greens next to the reds, so moving along the Highway 52 corridor right towards Carrington. And this was between Bowden and Sikeston moments ago. That is now moving in on the Carrington area. So not a tornado-warned storm, but it's a spinning storm, so we'll be watching it very closely for you. A severe thunderstorm warning does continue for that storm, making its way into Sikeston and New Rockford for 1¼ inch diameter hail and 60-mile-per-hour gusts of wind from that. Okay, active tornado warning in effect for the Macville area. There was a confirmed tornado on the ground moments ago from that. Let's get to some of the rest of the weather information as we look at the Grand Forks area. Darkening skies, western reaches of the county, really starting to see the impacts from the storm. Hour-by-hour forecast. As we approach the 6 o'clock hour, the storms will be making their way first into the northern valley and then crossing over into places like Crookston, Red Lake Falls, and gusty winds will be accompanying these storms, and at least through sunset we'll have that risk of tornadoes, if not a little bit beyond. Now, as we set things into motion, the southern valley and southeast North Dakota will see the storms kind of punch in, as well as parts of central Minnesota. Then notice all of this continues to bring heavy rain and hail, but the main leading edge here, as we get past sunset, the main threat will be gusty straight line winds in excess of 60 or even 70 miles per hour at night. Just like we had the other night, we can have gustnadoes along the leading edge of that. That's a threat. Then as we continue towards midnight, these blast through Lakes country. Detroit Lakes, Fergus Falls are not in the watch area now, but notice the time that these blow through is going to be after 10 p.m. So we'll keep our eyes on the storm and see if it does follow through with this plan or this forecast here as we go into your morning hours. The storms do eventually exit after about 1 to 2 in the morning. That severe risk is lowered completely. Then as we head into the morning hours, temperatures will be near 60. Gusty winds from the northwest will be here all day long. Check these temperatures out. We're talking low 70s south. How about some mid 60s, maybe even upper 50s for some of our counties in north central portions of North Dakota for tomorrow. Winds 30 to 40 miles per hour out of the west and northwest. Definitely a big cool down and a dry down as well, as we're going to get that humid air out of here for the weekend. Brandon sent us this. Brandon Mountain of some lumpy, bumpy, mammatus clouds. All is well, not well with the atmosphere when you see clouds like that. Cool and breezy on Sunday again, but we return to some summer-like conditions as we head through the better part of the week. As we go through that, we'll see a chance of a few thunderstorms here and there. The weekend, though, does look a lot quieter. Tornado warning does continue for the Macville area and points east. Storms are approaching the Grand Forks area, the Thompson area. We'll keep you posted right here. For now, we're going to toss it to break. We will be back with more Valley News Live. Stay tuned. More news and weather next.